Ladies and gentlemen, good evening everyone and welcome to the presentation of the MotoGP season 2018 Alma PramacRacing. I'll be very short in my introduction because the counter is going on. I mean, we don't have enough time to say, too many things, so we do have to comply with our time schedule. Let me thank you. I really would like to thank Lamborghini and Stefano Domenicali. Thank you so much for inviting us, for hosting us into this beautiful Urus Line Olimpo room. Now, the line can be seen downstairs. Claudio Domenicali, thank you so much, together with Paolo Ciabatti. Thank you for participating. I mean, in the setup that you must have seen outside with the beautiful three-color Italian, marvelous, incredible, products. Ducati and Lamborghini. Once again, without further ado, let me invite the two key faces that will be spending time with us tonight. They will also be spending time with you during the MotoGP season, Sky Sport 24, Sky Sport MotoGP and TV8. This is Sandra Frattogrosso and Davide Camiccioli.
Buonasera. Ciao. Grazie Federico.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so that's it. So it was an FP3 lap time. Enjoy. Thank you so much. Now, first of all, good evening, everyone. It's just like, a sort of a collection of toys. I mean, beautiful machines. This is a fantastic, breathtaking, made-in-Italy products. For me, and I'm lucky enough to be a father, this is a delivery room because you can really see where your next creature, may come to light. Now, the most natural things we say here is the following. First of all, no pictures, no photographs. And then the second one is, some gadgets that you may want to choose. Okay, so you can really choose, delivery and the color. Let's say that we are the policemen of this, evening. So it was already 2 minutes, 13 seconds to tell you what happens in this official presentation. A big round of applause to our host, Chairman CEO Lamborghini Automobili, Stefano Domenicali. Please join us here on stage. Thank you so much for, hosting us here, Pramac, Ducati, Lamborghini. The Italian excellence into this marvelous place. It's a breathtaking presentation. So nervous. Well, it's a pleasure for me to hear this, because when we talk about cars and engines, you also have to have emotion. Otherwise, something wouldn't be working properly. Now, we have the incredible pleasure to host our friends and colleagues. They are now part of the same family. Of course, they are represented by Claudio and Gigi, because the Lamborghini and the Ducati are now part of the Audi group. So we share the same, let's say, vision for the future. So the same strategy with just one common denominator, which is what I said before. We have to make products that have to launch and increase passion. So what we need is making sure young people fall in love with our products. Here in Lamborghini, we're very happy. Young people are the protagonists of our future, and they are also our customers. Now, because we talk about bikes, let me thank all of my colleagues here from Lamborghini. I also would like to thank you, because for the first time, you see, this line. This is a product that is soon to be launched onto the market. So you will be sharing with us not just the emotion of because of the launch of the bike today. This means, taking Lamborghini to a higher scale, a different dimension, a bigger scope, and once again, same sound, same passion. So the fact of creating, a sort of leaving the track, so to say, on the ground. This being said, thank you so much. The protagonist tonight is not Lamborghini, it's rather Ducati together with Paolo Campinotti's team. I have deep friendship towards him. It's a pleasure to see him and his family here to share this beautiful time. So we're sort of, launching a new season. Okay, so we have high hopes. Claudio Domenicali, manager and director, Ducati. Okay, change of the guard. So when you step into this place, it's just like, getting into an entertainment park and you start dreaming. You're right. Well, for aficionados, this is a temple. This is much more than a manufacturing site. It's a dream. And the beautiful thing is that this may become reality, maybe not for everyone. You really have to be very lucky. Beautiful, people with plenty of passion and aficionados. So it's a pleasure to have this beautiful plant in my region, Emilia Romagna. You talked about product results and quality. So season is about to start. I mean, you will start next Sunday. So we have all of the right preconditions also concerning products to be sold, but also considering what we saw in the tests. Right. I mean, it's nice to see all of these products. I mean, you can see plenty of Lamborghini. So three Lamborghinis, creating the three-color Italian flag together with our bike, which is a special version we are about to deliver. This bike. It's nice to see our three national colors on mass production bikes. Now, as for the tests, it's difficult to say something because I mean, some people they have a hidden behind I don't know what. Anyway, we cannot hide any longer because in a few days we will be, working together. Time zone is plus 2 hours or so. It's going to be very fun. It's important to have a company right here, very close to you. I mean, your marriage was, let's say, celebrated, more than 10 years ago. I thought it was 2005, so 13 years ago. So I think it's also a strategic partnership, right? Yes, you're right. Well, I have to say this is part of our strategy, and I think there's sort of love and then appreciation and even friendship, between us and the team. I think that this is the right land, if you know what I mean. The values are so important. I mean, Emilia Romagna and Tuscany, so this area of Italy. The way we work, I mean, the way we operate with Mr. Campagnotti's team, so different than, the typical relationship between a company and, its people. So with a very, let's say, family-like attitude, we've been able and we are still able to make sure some riders have become so important. Andrea Iannone, for example. So with Paolo and then in our official team, we won our first race back in 2016 in Austria, right? So a very important, performance in Austria. I'm also thinking of Danilo. Oh, Danilo is also well behaving very well. Is now one of the candidates to the official team. I also think of the riders that will be riding soon. So I'm talking about Andrea Bagnari, for example. So he's ready for, let's say, a far away future. So the team is so important for us.
Grazie. In bocca al lupo per
Thank you so
una grande
much.
stagione.
Good luck for a wonderful
Adesso
season.
eccolo qua. L'amministratore
Okay,
delegato.
here we go. So we have
Intervista
manager and
qua.
director.
Una
There we
cliente
have.
venuta in maniera naturale.
So he
Paolo
came here
Bianchini, qua voglio
very
sentire un applauso
naturally.
proprio
Paolo, a
caloroso come la sua
big
passione.
round of applause for Paolo,
Io mi
as
ero
big as
preparato
his
CEO
passion.
di Pramac, ma anche team owner del Pramac
So
Racing Team, perché dovevo fare una
Pramac
cosa
Racing Team.
ufficiale.
So this was the official side of the
Dobbiamo fare un
presentation.
passo in avanti,
So
anche
we have to
qui
make,
Federico
okay,
ci dice
one
che,
step forward, as
per
Federico is
presentare
suggesting us.
tutto il supporto
Sono
tecnico.
tanti 14 anni
Now,
insieme.
14 years together. Okay, just a little pressure, right? Well, wait a second. I mean, we are, very happy and very satisfied. I mean, 14 years together. We've always been, working together, also in the dark times. We never had any doubt on Ducati and the possibility they have in getting out of difficult moments. And I'm pretty sure today we see the results of all of these efforts. So we are deeply involved in our results, but also in the Ducati results. It all depended on your passion, sort of a bet. Could you imagine all of this when you started so many years ago? I mean, incredible results, and including, what your expectations are for the next season. I know you are ambitious, and this is also important for every kind of project. Well, I'm ambitious, but I'm also realistic, I mean, I'm sort of, based on the ground. So, doing a season like the one we had last year, well, that was a good one. We can improve it a little bit. I don't think we can really fight to get the World Championship now. If we are able to win at least one race, that would be so nice. And no pressure on riders, right? Exactly. So you are realistic. I mean, we know what we are. So, we are not the official Ducati. We are not Honda. So we are a nice, strong team. So we try and behave at best in our season. Our objective maybe is not, being number one. So do you have some second thoughts or some moments? And maybe you see the, your hero on the top of the podium. I remember this live, program Sky. Some people saying, "Well, I'm so happy I could have done it." So there was a sort of a dream. And then back to realism. So what do you really think based on the tests that you've carried out so far? Well, last year, especially in Hustle, we had one opportunity, to win. Danilo had this, problem with Ritz. Let's say that, yes, the victory was in his hands. He was that close. So that was, a second place, and we were a little disappointed. And then in Misano, Marquez was stronger. So he just waited for the right time. In that case, a little, let's say, disappointment, a little bit less than what happened in the Netherlands. And then this year, because, based on the results last year, we hope we can get some wins.
Anche perché ci siete dati davvero
As you
vicini.
said, you were that close, very, very close to victories. Danilo Petrucci, let me remind you, you have an official bike. Danilo Petrucci has an official 2018 bike, while Miller has the Dovizioso bike with 6 wins. Yes, I'm sure they will be talking about this in a minute. Let me just tell you that everyone confirmed that was a big step forward made by our bikes this year. So I can say that our bike is hopefully the most competitive one, racing this year. So once again, back to ambition. The objective we have is winning, and the Ducati factory has the objective of winning the World Championship. What we want to do is helping them win. So once again, we will sort of support them. Okay.
Sei stato come sempre
Okay. Thank you so much.
molto
That
diretto.
was very, let's say, straightforward.
Lo chiamiamo?
Okay. Can I do it?
No, Luigino. Luigino.
Luigino?
In diretta
No,
mondiale.
maybe
Luigino poi
Luigino in
riesce
a
poi-
globe, in a
Perché
world
si
live
chiama anche Alma,
program. No,
Alma.
this is
E allora
not the right
presentiamo
person. So,
l'uomo, io non so,
Alma,
amministratore delegato,
managing
no, vedi,
director
invece di no,
or
azionista.
shareholder?
Eccolo qua, un grande applauso
I
a
don't know
Luigi
how to
Schiavone,
call you. Luigi
che mi dice-
Schiavone.
No, ciao Luigi, perché ci hanno
Hello,
detto
Luigi.
allora
Venite un po' più
shoulder, giusto? Gruppo Alma,
Shoulder,
perché c'è
okay.
amministratore delegato.
We have the
direttore
managing
generale. Noi non siamo-
director, and
noi
then
siamo
we
bravi
have
con i
the
numeri, con i tempi,
general
con
director.
queste
We are
cose
excellent
qua
with
facciamo un po'
figures
fatica, però
and
sappiamo
lap
che, insomma,
times, while we
Cognome
we have
soltanto
some
Scavone,
difficulties in
Scavone,
all of
perché
these
quella lì è un po'
titles or
Luigi.
offices.
Luigino, abbiamo parlato di grandi ambizioni.
Luigi, we talked about ambition, and I know you are also ambitious. So, do you have the high expectations? Well, I expect what is fair. So, Paolo has, let's say, accepted, some commitments. We decided to have something together, and we decided to go to the podium maybe 5 times, maybe 6 times.
In Qatar, ad esempio, di cosa
Okay, in Qatar, for example, what would you like to have? Second
prima
place.
lasciamo la Ducati anche
Okay,
perché
first
sono
one,
qua,
Ducati. Okay, first place, top of the
rispetto al
podium,
Ducati,
Ducati. So, of course, we do respect Ducati. What about the third one, Ducati or? No, of course, Ducati. Yes, Ducati. And then it goes without saying, what will happen in the Mugello racing track. Okay, this is our expectations, and this is what we hope for you. But basically, you come from, other sports. For example, basketball. You are also protagonists and key players there. So, is this what a strategic move? Maybe you want to have a new target. So why did you, let's say, get close to this sport? There's a big shift between basketball and motorbike. Well, the basketball is also a very important, system, if you will, here on, nationwide. We just wanted to be doing something more. So we really want to, let's say, work for in a beautiful sport, both in Italy and in the rest of Europe. And then, of course, all people like, bikes. So we decided to do this with Paolo because, we really want to attach more value to our group. It's something real. It's something global. It's a world class. It's important. You come from the sea. People from the sea have plenty of dreams. So with Paolo, I was kind of, joking in the backstage together with Danilo Petrucci. I said, this year we really, really, really have to win. So we have to show the Pramac brand for 2 key reasons. Well, first of all, for the sponsors, right? Yes, you're right. We also have Articolo Uno, and we also have Iker. So it's not the only brand. So it's more than one sponsors apart from Alma. Now, Alma is the main sponsor in the motorbike championships.
Stavo
So this is a
aumentando.
pack that we have.
5-7, stiamo
Okay,
ancora
so
qua, un minuto,
7
10
podium,
podi.
7
Paolo mi dice,
positions on the podium. Okay, 5 minutes ago you said 5. Now you say 7.
Lasciamo spazio ai piloti. Allora,
Okay,
grazie,
you know what?
grazie,
Thank you
grazie a
so
voi.
much. Thank you for being here and
Allora,
sharing
questi,
these,
grazie,
ideas and opinions
Sandro,
with us.
Tu li hai fatti però, li hai
Beh,
fatti
lo dicono
sbilanciati.
loro, noi li abbiamo
Okay,
stimolati.
this is what they
Questi
said. They
sono
say
i
that I have,
propositi per quanto
encouraged or
riguarda il
stimulated them.
2018.
So these are
Prima
our
di
expectations for
addentrarci
2018.
nelle
So
novità di
before,
questa stagione
taking a
anche un
deep
po'
dive into
tecnologiche,
the
facciamo così.
technology
Andiamo a
of this
rivedere i
season, you know
risultati
what?
del
Let's
2017
have a look
perché
at the
davvero
2017
Pramac è andato
results because
vicino
Pramac
alla
was that
vittoria, ma
close
ha
to
dato tanto
a
soddisfazione
win,
ai piloti, agli
but it gave so
appassionati
much
e ovviamente
satisfaction
a chi
and
ha creato
happiness to
questo progetto. Vediamo
aficionados
tutto quello che è accaduto.
and to the designers and creators of this project. So let's have a look at what happened.
Questo è quello che è successo nella
Okay,
passata
then, this is
stagione.
what happened in the past
Raccontarvi
season.
la
So,
MotoGP significa
telling
anche
you or
spesso,
talking about
Davide lo sai
MotoGP,
bene,
as
andare su
Davide knows
livelli
very
diversi,
well,
no?
it
Prima
means talking
abbiamo
about different
sentito
levels, or different
il
scopes.
timone, abbiamo sentito lo
So we
sponsor
talked
che
about, being
giustamente dice
drivers
io
of
voglio
this
vincere, voglio andare
sport
sul
and then
podio, voglio
sponsors.
fare diciamo
We
quello
talked
che è un
about wins.
percorso
We
che
talked
tutti
about
si
podium
augurano nel
wins.
momento della
So this is what we all
presentazione.
hope,
Poi però
during a
succede che
presentation.
c'è la
But then what
tecnica, ci
happens
sono i
is,
test in pista, ci sono
techniques,
i dati, c'è la
technology,
telemetria,
and
ci
then you have
sono dei
telemetrics,
discorsi
you
che vanno
have
un po' al di
data.
là dell'aspetto
So you have
professionale,
something which is
sono
so
assolutamente
technical, and
importanti e
this is not
importanti.
emotional. And of
Questi
course, all
erano
of this is
vogliamo
as important
partecipare.
as
Oddio,
emotions.
facciamo
Beh, lo
So
facciamo,
we
li
can take a
presentiamo uno
deep
a uno
dive on this
perché sono
together
presentazioni
with
importanti,
some,
uomini fondamentali
important
per quanto
presentations,
riguarda il mondo
fundamental
Ducati e il
men
mondo Pramac.
into the Pramac
Partiamo
and Ducati
dal
world.
direttore
So
generale
the
Ducati
general
Corse,
director
Gigi
Ducati
Dalligna, un bel
Corse,
applauso.
Gigi
Lo
Dalligna.
prendo
Big
io,
round of
Dalligna
applause.
viene da questo
This is
lato
Gigi.
qui.
Okay, Gigi,
Ce li siamo divisi.
join me
Poi
here.
Prego.
arriva anche Paolo Ciabatti.
We also have
direttore
Paolo
sportivo.
Ciabatti. Paolo Ciabatti is the sport director.
E il team manager
And
della
we
Pramac
have the
Racing Team,
team
Francesco
manager,
Guidotti.
Pramac
Ciao,
Racing
Francesco.
Team,
Allora,
Francesco
facciamo questo
Guidotti.
gioco.
Francesco,
Io tengo loro due.
welcome.
Per le
Okay, you know
domande,
what?
quelle, diciamo,
The two
io oggi devo fare la
white
parte di quello un po'
shirts
più
with me.
realista, un po' più
So I am
tu
the
invece
real realistic
microfono.
man
vai.
today.
Allora, comincio da Gigi.
Certo.
Okay, first
Allora, due
question
mesi
for
fa,
Gigi
facciamo un passo
Dalligna.
più
Now,
avanti, da
Gigi,
dove ci sono le freni.
we
Allora,
really
due
have to
mesi
move
fa,
forward a little bit. Now, 2 months ago, this is what
c'era la
happened. So
presentazione a Borgo Panigale.
we had the presentation in Borgo
La moto
Panigale,
ancora
so
non
in
è messa
Bologna.
in pista.
The
Poi
bike was not
abbiamo fatto
actually
tre
there,
test,
on
abbiamo
the
visto
racing
tutto.
track. Then you went
Oggi
through some testing and we
parliamone
saw
proprio
the
con
development of the
Pramac. Ti
bike.
senti più leggero?
So, what about today? Do you feel lighter? And if so, how much? Well, it's less than 1 week before the first race, so it's really difficult to say I feel lighter. We can say that, we are aware of all the work we've carried out, and I really have to say I'm so happy and proud of what we've done. So the team in Bologna, and they really did their homework. And then we presented them at the bike in Sepang, based on the riders' comments, but also based on the data that we get thanks to telemetrics. Well, I think the bike is one step forward as compared to the previous bike, the previous season. And then we have repeated tests. We have sort of, enhanced and improved the bike. Once again, we were so happy about what we've done. So we're now ready to start, I mean, the championship, being aware that we've done all what was possible to do. We did well. You know, sometimes there's a difference. There's a gap between tests on the one side and the races on the
Va
other.
bene,
So
soltanto una
we need to
domanda
wait
a
until
Gigi, poi
Sunday. Another
passiamo
question to
direttamente al team
Gigi
manager.
before going to team
In
manager and the
sintesi,
sport director.
ci puoi
Now, in a
dare
nutshell,
una
can
dimensione
you tell us
realistica
exactly,
di quello che è il
please be
feeling
realistic, what about
raggiunto
the
i tre
feeling
piloti con l'auto
reached by the
2018
three,
e poi Jack
riders with the
Miller che ha fatto
2018
un
bike
ottimo
together with Jack
pre-season?
Miller?
Cioè, facci
So there
capire,
was an
insomma, a che
incredible
livello
precision
sono
check. So which level
Petrucci, Lorenzo.
did you reach? I mean,
Cosa vuoi la
Petrucci,
domanda?
Lorenzo? It's
No,
a
dai, non è
really, really
difficile.
difficult question. It is. It is. And believe me, it's so complicated, I mean, to answer this question. Anyway, let me try. I have to say that Dovizioso and Danilo, so they both have shown they are really, at the right position. They know what they're doing, especially in the, simulation tests, not just in Qatar. So very good lap times in terms of speed, but also in terms of managing the race. I really have to say they have reached the right level. Now, I know that not everyone tested, I mean, the simulator in Qatar, so it's really difficult to really understand what the status of our competitors is. Of course, I'm talking about, Marquez, Yamaha, Honda, and Vinales and Valentino Rossi. So, well, important, companies, the teams, and, big, big names, scary names. I'm sure they will, try their best, and I'm sure it's going to be quite difficult to fight against them. So we just have to wait until Sunday and keep fingers crossed. Exactly. I have to say that, Jack too did something incredible in terms of his debut on our, bike. And we received plenty of very positive comments on what he did on his bike. And this was a pleasure to hear. So I'm sure that he too has the right opportunities. I mean, he will be able to, show what he can do. He can do much. And I'm sure that he will, strive to do something very important next year. Paolo, back to you in a second. Francesco, be good, be kind, please. Now, first race, is it going to be a dream? Wait a second. I mean, we have plenty of competitors, more than one. So we have Marquez, we have Valentino, we have Lorenzo. So, I mean, they are in the family, but then, of course, well, they turn into adversaries or enemies on the racing track. So we keep talking about wins and podium, but we really, really have to keep our feet on the ground. It's difficult to do to say this because, I mean, we had incredible tests and it's difficult, I mean, to touch the ground. I mean, we are sort of flying. Anyway, every single year we move forward, we step forward, and we will be doing exactly the same thing this year.
Paolo,
Insieme in coro. Si può fare, qualcuno.
Okay, Paolo, someone said,
qual è
yes, we
il
can.
livello della
Paolo, what do you
competitività?
think about the level of the competitiveness of Pramac right now? Well, as someone said before, well, actually, in terms of tests, both riders just went so fast. I mean, you know, Jack adjusted to Ducati, right from the very beginning. Of course, he has a 2017 bike, but it's the last version of the 2017 bike. As you said before, this is the bike that Dovizioso used for 6 wins, and then he played for the World Championship all the way to Valencia against Marquez. So a very competitive bike. Danilo helped us developing the 2008 bike, and he's shown he's so great and strong. I mean, he did a complete, simulation day 3 in Qatar, exactly at the same time of the real race, and lap times were very good. I should say excellent. So once again, both can do very well. Of course, we do have our 2 official riders, and we also have the Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Aprilia riders. So they will try and make our life difficult. Okay, couple of quick things for our big engineer. And this is to make the audience happy because, of course, they want to know something about technology. So, 3 tests, you said. Do you have a feeling, do you have the right perception now on the bike? So, can this bike be competitive in the, racing tracks where you had some problems last year? Well, once again, this is the right step forward towards the right direction, so that's for sure. Well, this year I would have liked to go to Australia instead of Thailand to carry out one of the race tests because I mean that was a very difficult racing track last year. So doing a test there would have been let's say more interesting for us because we could have made a comparison. Anyway, once again, I repeat, the one big step forward, a leap step forward was done. Is this going to be enough? Well, I don't know. We need to wait for some unique, racing track, for example, Phillip Island, Aragon. So in those racing tracks, our bike, as you said, had some little difficulties. So once again, this marriage was celebrated 14 years ago. It's like concrete. I mean, it's really impossible to, chip it. We have an important Japanese team with no, satellite team. What about the offer? Okay, they couldn't accept the offer, but did you experience this nightmare? Well, usually I dream nice things, so this is something I haven't even taken into account. Okay, let me be serious. I mean, we keep talking about business, so of course we have to, respect. I mean, our financial accounts about what we have done with Pramac is beautiful under every single perspective. So in terms of sports, because well, actually, probably Pramac is the only team being able to, let's say, let some riders grow, and they are now into the official team of, a company. And then, it works pretty well from the sport perspective, but also in terms of the technical, aspect, they give us an incredible contribution in developing the bike. So the technical point also works very well. From the human point of view, I have to say that it's almost impossible to do better than this. So why changing such a perfect situation? So this is a dream. Okay, and of course, this is just a dream. It's a 100% dream. There's no nightmare. Something happened last year, and this may happen this year as well. What do you think? Pramac does better than Ducati. Well, listen, well, if possible, we would like to be, on the top, to be the first ones, so there's no distinction. Then, of course, in some cases, you feel a little sad, a little worried, because maybe, the official, let's say, team is fighting for the championship. So that situation is so difficult. Anyway, we start off every single race with no pressure for the company, no pressure from anyone else. So we just try and enjoy this at best, which is the main meaning of sport. This is the beauty of sport, right? Exactly. I mean, we all have the same objective, and then, one person succeeds and all the others follow. Okay, this is it. Thank you so much, Gigi, and once again, keep up with the good work and good luck. So this is something that we like doing, sparring. It's sort of the it's the beating heart of our presentation because we don't have any specific subjects. So this is something we did expressly, so willingly. So we have sort of spurred and encouraged our presenters. Okay, are you ready? So we need a claim now. This is the long-awaited moment in time.
Io sono pronto.
I'm ready.
E voi?
And you? bel applauso a Danilo
Once again, a
Petrucci.
big round of applause to
Jack
Danilo
Miller.
Petrucci, Jack Miller.
Potete togliervi il casco, ragazzi.
Okay, you can now remove your helmet.
Ah, già.
Bella e bella.
Well, I have to say it's beautiful. Well, I am not as beautiful as she is.
No, è bellissima come solito.
As usual,
La livrea è cambiata e
stunning.
soprattutto
Okay, livery has changed a little
è
bit,
migliorata.
and
Sì,
it's
sì,
been
sì,
improved.
la livrea era già bella
Right, I
l'anno
mean,
scorso.
livery
La
was
moto
so beautiful
quest'anno,
last year.
durante
This year, the
che va
bike,
ancora
in my
più
opinion,
forte.
is
Quindi,
even faster than last year. So we have all the ingredients
Poi
for a
passiamo a Jack.
perfect
Tu
recipe.
hai la
Okay,
moto
before moving to
ufficiale
Jack,
2018
you have the
insieme a
official
Otto
2018
Lorenzo e a
motorbike together with Jorge Lorenzo and
Dovizioso.
Dovizioso.
Sognare si deve perché in
So
testa
we need to
hanno detto
dream
che
a little
è
bit.
la
We
Ducati,
can dream
forse,
because
usiamo
tests
il forse
say
perché poi la
that
gara,
maybe
un'altra cosa è la
maybe
moto da
the
battere
Ducati bike
in
is
questo
the
inizio
bike
tra
to be
6
beaten
giorni
at the
in
very
Qatar.
beginning
Di
of
che
the new
cosa è
championship in
migliorata
6
questa
days in
moto?
Qatar. So what are the
Ma
improvements in your
allora,
opinion?
sono innanzitutto molto contento
Now,
che
let me tell you
siamo
first of
in
all
forma,
that I'm
soprattutto
so happy
nell'ultimo
that
test.
we've been so fast, especially in the
Devo
last,
dire che
you know,
c'è un
testing
aspetto
round. I have to say
dove
that there's no, let's
particolarmente
say,
migliorata,
key
un altro
point. I
dove
mean, a
magari è
special
migliorata di più
improvement.
o di meno.
So I can't see
È
any,
migliorata
big
nel
differences in terms of
comportamento generale,
improvements.
sai,
I think what
tante
has
volte
improved is the
è
general
una
behavior
questione di feeling,
of this
no?
bike. I think it's a question of feeling, right?
Tanti numeri,
So,
anche se
so
ci
plenty of
sono tanti
figures.
sensori,
There are
la moto
so
non te
many
li dice,
sensors, but of course, the bike
è
doesn't
migliorato il
really
feeling
talk to you.
della
The
moto,
feeling
cioè
has improved.
sembra che viene
I
tutto un
feel
po'
better on the
più
bike.
naturale.
sì,
Everything
sì,
is more
viene tutto
natural.
magari
Everything
avviene,
comes
mentre
out
la
better.
moto dell'anno scorso impiegavo 2
Well,
giri
the
per
bike
andare al
last year,
limite, per entrare in quel
it took
metodo,
something
però
like,
per
2
forte.
laps to really,
Adesso mi sembra
have,
che mi
let's
viene
say,
un po'
full
più
throttle.
facile e
Now
quello
this
lì
is,
poi l'ho
with
visto
this
anche con i
bike,
tempi,
everything
perché
is
poi
easier.
dopo
And this has
si
been
vede
shown
l'evoluzione del
thanks to,
film, fare il cronometro
lap
quindi
times.
siamo andati
So
veloci e di
it's
questo
a
sono
question of
molto
feeling, but
contento.
it's also a
Non so
question
se
of
hai
technology.
ascoltato
I'm so
dietro le
happy.
quinte che cosa
So
hanno
maybe
detto
behind the
i
scenes, you
protagonisti.
heard what
Una
the
parte della
protagonist
presentazione,
of the first
l'obiettivo
part
è
of the presentation said.
vincere.
The objective is
Solo vincere?
winning. Oh,
Chiaro?
this is it?
Chiaro che
It
siamo
goes
andati
without
vicini
saying, of course. So
l'anno
we
scorso
were so close,
molte volte.
that
Delle volte
close
siamo
to
andati
wins.
vicini
In some
a
cases,
vincere la gara.
we were very close to winning the race.
Quest'anno vorrei
This year, I
fare
think we
un po'
can do
meglio
better.
dell'anno
I'd
scorso,
like to do
nel
better than
senso
last year.
l'anno
And by
scorso ci sono
better,
state
I
delle gare
mean
in cui
that,
sono andato molto
last year,
forte, in
in
altre
some
in
races,
cui non
I
sono andato
really did
bene
great.
e
In
innanzitutto
other
vorrei
cases,
intanto
it
eliminare
didn't
quello
work
dove
at
non sono
all.
andato
So
bene
first of all, I would
e
like to
cercare
really
di
remove
essere
all
migliore.
those, let's say,
Come
negative cases.
è normale,
And
no? La crescita di un
I
pilota
think this is
migliorare
normal. I mean, in the
anno
growth
per
and
anno.
evolution of
E
a
quindi
rider. So
vorrei
I want to
migliorare
keep
innanzitutto l'anno
improving
scorso, poi
consistently. So I'd
vediamo
like to
cosa
improve
che viene
as
fuori.
compared with last year.
Facciamo un po' le
Then
stesse domande
no one knows
anche
what happens in the
a
future.
Jack Miller.
Same questions
C'è
for Jack Miller.
una traduzione internazionale, però insomma facciamo anche un minimo di supporto alla traduzione per Jack che qualcosa in
So this
italiano
is for Jack. Now I'm sure that Jack understands
Can
Italian,
you
but
explain your feeling with this bike
I
at the moment?
think that he also
Yeah,
speaks
it's
English, of
amazing
course.
to see, of course, the livery. It's looking beautiful, and no, my feeling at the moment with the bike is amazing. You know, since the first day in Valencia, we improve step by step, day by day. I enjoy to ride the bike, and no, really excited for the upcoming season.
Beh, insomma, è ovviamente incredibile quello
So
che
once again, let me
è
repeat this:
eccezionale.
an
Sin dal primo
exceptional,
momento, sin da
incredible,
Valencia,
unique feeling. I
l'ho
mean,
notato
from the
sempre
very
molto
beginning. I mean, from
bene
Valencia.
con
So
questo
there was a
moto
perfect feeling with the bike, and
Cerco
then
di capire
growing
quale
day
può
after day,
essere
month after
un'altra
month.
cosa nei test.
Another question.
Your progress during the test, for example, between Thai and Qatar, che c'è stato un miglioramento importante anche per
So
voi in
I'm
Qatar
sure
ha
there
fatto
was
un
an
buon passo in
important
avanti.
improvement. I mean, in Qatar, the pace was good.
The testing was to work on the race pace and to try and build the race pace. And no, I really felt a big step with this in Thailand, and then also in Qatar was quite good for us. So you know, this seems to be the strong point I feel at the moment on the bike is I'm able to do quite consistent lap times. So it gives us some stability I feel or some confidence going into the first race.
Let me rephrase this. So awareness and trust and confidence that we now have for the first, a race is that we have built, the constant, progressive, consistent pace. So realistically, what's your target this year?
That's a difficult one. No, I think we have to get the first race out of the way, but of course, we want to push and be as close to the top guys as possible, and each week. but of course we have to start from somewhere and get a base and work from there. So I think we have to keep calm, keep the feet on the ground.
Beh, detto da lui che vuole stare calmo,
Once
insomma.
again, we have to stay calm and keep
Sì, vabbè,
feet on the ground.
capito,
So
insomma,
let's
stare
see
un po' a
what
ridosso dei
happens.
primi,
So once
vedere
again,
quello
we
che
want to
succede
be
e cercare di
as close as
portarsi a
possible to
termine la
those
gara. Poi
right
l'ultima
at the
domanda
top,
per
and then of
Lui
course we
a
have to
ridosso dei
have
primi
this
ormai
beautiful
ci
first,
sei, ha detto,
race.
voglio esserci in
You
quasi
said I
tutte
want to
le
be
gare.
there
Così,
on
dai
the
primi
podium.
test,
So based on the very first
che cosa ti
tests,
aspetti da questa stagione? E
what are the
chi
expectations
sono,
you
chi
have
è il
from this
favorito
season,
per
and
vincere?
who's the favorite
Ma
for the
guarda,
World
abbiamo
Championship in your
visto
opinion?
che
Well,
in questi test, più dell'anno
in
scorso,
these tests, I mean,
siamo
much
tutti
more than
ancora
last
molto più
year,
vicini.
we are
Addirittura
all
mi ricordo
closer
noi
to
in Thailandia che
best,
eravamo
lap
20
times. I
piloti
remember in
in seconda,
Thailand, I mean,
capisci che la pista è
20 of
corta,
us
poco
within
spedito,
one
però
second. I
fare
know
la
the race is
differenza
short and
è
not very much
difficile
selective, but
e
it's really
soprattutto per
difficult
quello che
now to make a
riguarda
difference
domenica
between
in
us.
Qatar.
As for
Anche lì,
Qatar,
sai
next
che
Sunday,
saremo, penso,
we have the
11-12,
same situation.
molto
I think
vicini,
11,
vero
maybe
giusto?
12
Più o
of
meno.
us will be
E
that
credo che sarà un
close to
po' il
that,
leitmotiv
one
di tutta la
second.
stagione.
This is going to be the cliche,
Quindi
so
la
the
differenza tra
leitmotiv
far
for the
bene e
next
far male
season.
è molto
So
molto
the
piccola.
difference between good and bad
Però
is
certo ci
very
stanno quelli
small
che stanno
this year.
sempre un po'
But
davanti
of course, some
e ci
people are
piacerebbe far
always
parte
taking the
di quel
lead,
gruppo
and I
lì.
really
Secondo me
would like to be
non ci
in
manca
the
nulla,
leading
ecco.
team. And we have all of the
Io
ingredients for the
sono
perfect recipe.
preparato bene.
Nothing is missing. So my
Ho
preparation
faticato
is good.
molto
I
e
had to
quindi
strive a
vorrei
lot,
Sì,
vedere
sì,
so
sì,
I
anche
really
di
would
Marini hai
like
fatto un altro
sì.
percorso, hai fatto
to
tutta
do
una serie
something
di
great. I
preparativi. In
mean, I
inverno
know
non ti
that
sei
you
mai
have
fermato.
lost weight, so you
No,
never stopped in winter,
l'ho
right?
sofferta perché sono arrivato a Sepang che ero
Now, I was in
già
Sepang, and
abbastanza
I
usurato
was a
da
little, let's say,
preparazione, però
worn
dopo da
out.
lì è
But
stato un po'
preparation,
più
training,
facile.
all of this is necessary.
Però
But then, it was easier
la
afterwards.
simulazione gara in
Let's
Qatar mi
say
ha dato
that
molta
the
fiducia.
Qatar
Ero
simulation that
teso
was
prima di farla
excellent. I
come se
was
dovessi fare una
very
gara
nervous
perché
before doing this,
volevo
just like
vedere
a
se
real
tutto quello in cui ho
competition, a real
lavorato
race,
sull'inverno
because
sia
I just wanted to
sulla
put in
moto
practice
che lo
all
stile di
what I
guida
did
funzionava.
throughout
Guarda
winter.
che,
So the bike
Gabino,
was working,
guarda Gabino
my
che
riding
si
style was
frega
also
tanto.
working very well.
Paolo non mi mette per niente
So,
pressione.
so there's no
assolutamente.
pressure from
Perché ti
Paolo.
mette
Oh
pressione
no,
Paolo?
not at all. So
No,
once
no,
again,
No, anche
repeat this.
Luigino.
Any pressure
Ah,
from
ma no,
Paolo and
assolutamente,
Luigino?
assolutamente.
Oh
No,
no,
l'anno
not
scorso
at
mi ha
all.
lasciato un po' più di
Now,
tempo perché
last
l'anno
year
scorso alla
they gave me
presentazione
a little
male
bit more
dovevi
time.
regalare una
At the
gioia con il
presentation,
Mugello
he
e
told me
invece
I need to have
oggi mi ha
something
detto no,
special
voglio
for the
Qatar.
Mugello.
Meglio.
While today they want
Non
something
divido,
from
non
me
divido.
right
Sì,
from
sì.
Qatar.
Però l'anno scorso ha funzionato
Sì.
per il
Anyway,
Mugello,
it has
quindi
worked last year for Mugello,
io
so
secondo me funziona anche
let's
domenica.
Mi hai fatto
cross
un
fingers.
sorpasso astutamente per quanto riguarda la lotta
So,
per il mondiale.
in terms of
ma
fighting
La
for the
lotta
World
per il
Championship, this is
mondiale
something you were about to
io
say, right? Yes.
credo che
This is what I
Dovi in
think.
questo momento ha
Dovizioso
qualcosina in più.
right now has that
Nel
little,
senso,
extra, so
però
he
io
has
guardo il
something more.
mio
Now, of course,
il mio
I,
vicinato.
let's say, take into account my
Non
neighborhood,
non
so to
parlo
say.
di
I'm
di
not,
altre
talking
factory,
about
sicuramente
other
ci sarà
factories
Marquez,
because,
ci
of
sarà
course,
Viñales,
Marquez will
Rossi.
be there, Viñales, Rossi will
Dovi in
also be
questo
there in
momento
the
è quello
leading
che
team.
posso
Now,
vedere più da vicino
Dovizioso right
e
now is the
secondo me
one
lui
I
ha
can
la
see closer.
tranquillità, soprattutto ha
And he's
l'intelligenza
so calm,
e
he's
dopo l'anno
got the
scorso
intelligence. I mean, after
maturato
what he did last
ulteriormente
year,
e secondo me
he managed
quest'anno
to
sarà
develop,
più forte dell'anno
what he
scorso.
does. And this year, he will be
Non
stronger
gli
than
hanno
last
voluto
year.
mettere pressione,
No,
ragazzi. Gli
no.
hanno messo
So once
Mick
again,
Doohan
there's
lì,
no
no?
pressure. So you
Vicino
have Mick right there,
a Jack Miller.
and
che
then we
prima,
have
insomma, è
Jack
stato un
Miller,
abbraccio bellissimo che abbiamo
a
fatto.
beautiful
Volevo
hug
chiedere a Jack le
that we
ultime
saw
due cose. La
before.
prima
Okay, couple of
riguarda
things for Jack.
l'atmosfera
First
che ha
thing is the
trovato
feeling, I mean, the atmosphere that you found in the Pramac team.
The atmosphere in the team,
No, I mean,
Italian style.
Italian style, for
Ha
sure.
imparato qualche parola,
They
però.
explained me before that we were running ahead of time on the when we needed to get ready. I say to Petruccia, I say, this is not quite normal for Italians. Not normally we are running behind, but
Sì, sì.
no, it's an amazing feeling at the moment in the team. Since the first day, like I say, we start to work really well together, and also with Ducati and everybody, I'm enjoying a lot. So, like I said before, just really excited and enthusiastic to go to the first race.
The feeling with Danilo is okay? Sì?
Yeah, it's
Andate d'accordo?
No,
Sì.
not so bad. Not so
Not
bad.
so,
for the
not so
moment.
bad. Devo fare-
Con Jack è tutto a posto?
So what
Tanto-
about Jack? I mean, do you get along well with Jack? I mean,
Salutiamo
we haven't
con
fought yet.
affetto, ancora.
So,
L'ultima cosa, siccome so che Paolo Campione è
a
molto
very last
generoso,
thing. Now, Paul is very
Eh,
generous in,
try to imagine
during the
your first-
championship.
Cerchiamo di immaginare il tuo primo podio. If you had a chance to to ask a special present for your first podium for Paolo? to receive for
I
your
think we
podium?
saw many of them today outside of the factory.
Che vogliono le Lamborghini.
Mi
Allora,
sembra giusto.
eh,
Scusa, che modello?
no,
Voglio- Che modello?
which
Well,
one?
this is great. I mean, and which style, which model? Well, of course, the new one.
I learn you the name.
Name.
Performante.
Yeah.
I like a lot of performante.
Allora.
I mean, I'm not picky, but anything will do.
Ok, allora,
E tu Danilo cosa
Danilo, what do you
No,
want
anch'io
as a
lo
present?
performante.
It's okay,
Colore
performante.
lasciai
This
lui,
is good.
tu-
No, sì,
Okay, what about the color? Okay, we will, we will find an agreement. We will agree on the color. This is not an issue. Okay. Next presentations, I mean, we won't be there, so they won't want us. Stephanie is happy because, I mean,
assolutamente.
we have already ordered, I mean, 2 cars.
per Jack.
Ma è così
So
che
good
noi
luck to
chiudiamo.
Jack. Okay,
Noi
this
chiudiamo
is it.
sempre
Last
la
question.
mattina.
So we keep, having fun about this. We keep joking. But now back to seriousness. Can we dream of a
Sì,
100% Ducati podium?
Non sarebbe malissimo.
It
Diciamo
would
che-
be nice.
Quale gradino vorresti?
Okay, so
Beh,
which
diciamo
step
che
would you
se
like in
devi
the
scegliere
podium?
uno,
Well, if I really had to choose one, I would
invece
choose
quello
the
con cui non
the
sono mai
top one.
stato,
So
però,
the one that I don't
è
know
chiaro
yet. I mean,
che
up there. This is
sarà
where I would
fare,
like to go.
sì,
Do you
certo che
think
si può
this is
fare,
doable?
si può
Of course,
fare,
it's doable.
cioè il problema è che siamo in
You know, the
bella
problem is
compagnia.
that we have
Siamo in
many
tanti,
competitors,
però
too many competitors
intanto noi
fighting
ci
for
siamo,
that step.
e
Anyway,
secondo
we
me,
are here.
come mi è sempre
And,
detto,
in my
non
opinion,
gli altri
this
che
is
devono aver
what,
paura di te, non
my grandfather said,
Intanto
other people have to fear you. You don't have to fear
Domenicali ha toccato ferro,
anyone.
Lato-Napoli,
Okay, well,
cioè,
Domenicali is,
il suo
touching
collega che
wood.
la Spezia, lì non sono tanto scaramantici, per questo insomma.
Però San Gente di Mare lo stesso.
Anyway,
Salino,
I
ma-
come from the
Sogno non
sea,
ci
so
manca.
just like someone
fa
before,
foto,
we do have
Vieni
dreams.
qua,
facciamo il
People
campo
living
per-
on
Anche
the
perché loro
seaside,
fanno-
they really have dreams,
Con
as we said before.
Franci, dai, vieni.
Okay,
Allora,
please join us here.
Tieni il microfono, ha ragione. Che lui è un po' il vostro...
è il capo.
I mean, here's the boss. Okay, here's
Io
the
sto
boss.
dicendo la cosa più carina.
I was about to say something nicer. So when everything is perfect, I'm the boss. When things go wrong, I don't know them.
Danilo,
Any
Sì,
fights
allora io
between you?
quello che
No
mi
fights,
piace
maybe
di
some
Francesco
discussions.
che
What I like in
quando
Francesco
ti
is
dice
that,
bravo, te lo dice, quando
he
c'è da
tells
dire
you,
che sei stato
you are excellent.
somaro,
In some
te lo
cases,
dice,
he
però
also
se
tells
vuoi
you
troppo
that
amore.
you haven't been excellent
sei
at
uno
all.
diretto.
So you
Questo
talk
fa molto
straight.
piacere comunque,
And this is great.
delle persone
I mean,
di
a very open, natural,
e-
person.
beh,
So
bravo,
he says what he thinks. He's a kind, nice boss.
4 anni che sto qua.
It's, I mean, we've spent 4 years together. Anyway, I'm sorry, I cannot buy any Lamborghini for you.
Bene, allora c'è la foto.
Okay,
del
so
gruppo,
we have the photo moments
con,
of the team.
Domenicali,
This
con
is our official picture
Campiotti,
with
con,
Gigi Dall'Igna,
Ma
Campinotti,
anche col padrone di casa.
Domenicali, and
Poi,
Stefano, our host.
Prego.
Federico Cappelli organizzerà
We also have
tutti i
Federico
vari
Capelli, so he
set
will be
per quanto
organizing,
riguarda
all the
le
different
foto
sets
del
for
evento.
the
Quindi direi che possiamo
official
fargli un applauso.
photo
Grazie.
moments. Okay, once again,
E in
big,
bocca al
big
lupo
final round of applause.
all'Alma,
Thank you so much.
Pramac
Break, collect.
Racing
Good
per
luck,
questa stagione
Alma,
MotoGP
Pramac
del
Racing
2018.
Team, 2018 World
Aspetta che manca
Championship
anche Luigino,
MotoGP.
vieni.
Wait a second.
Vieni Luigi,
We need
eccolo qua.
Luigi.
Continuiamo, un altro applauso.
Okay, once again, a big round of applause. Beautiful photo moment to wrap up this evening.
Grazie ragazzi, ci siamo.
Thank you
Lasciamo
so much, guys. This
andare a
is it.
togliere la tuta perché manca domani mattina partite.
Tomorrow morning I know
Insomma,
you're
è
leaving,
una
so
una bella grande
it's going to
avventura
be
finalmente.
the beginning of a
Saranno
beautiful
gran premi.
long adventures. There will also be
Good
luck.
more,
Ciao,
races
ciao ragazzi.
than usual. Once again,
Ringraziamo tutti
good luck.
quanti coloro i quali
Thank you so
ci
much.
hanno- Davide, vieni qui, ci
I also
hanno
would like to
seguito
thank you,
in diretta.
Davide.
Guardiamo
Thank you so
qua,
much
che
for
bello,
all of
che
our
bello,
world.
che
Let's have
bello,
virtual
ci hanno seguito.
audience.
Possiamo accarezzare, sì.
Possiamo, sì.
Okay, can we touch it? Can we caress
Gigi,
it?
possiamo? Bello, bello.
Sono stati tantissimi che ci hanno seguito.
So many people
Assolutamente.
on our channels for the beginning of the season. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, including the Sky Sport 24 interactive channel. So starting tonight, Moto Sky GP 208. This is going to be the
Grazie,
channel
buona
par
stagione a tutti,
excellence.
2018.
Thank you so much.
Ci vediamo
Enjoy
in
the
pista tra poco.
2018
Ciao.
season. We will see you soon along one of the beautiful racing tracks. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.